Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for fighting my ex on changing our custody agreement? And guys, this story is all about a guy. He is 28 years old. He has two little kids, I think 6 and 4 years old. And his fiance, the mother of the children, she's been in and out of jail and rehab for a few years now because of her addiction problems with a certain injectable substance. And he now has full custody of the kids, doesn't want her anywhere around them, and now that she's out and in a halfway house type of scenario, she now wants to see them but also get partial custody. And this guy's saying, absolutely not a chance in hell, no way, because she doesn't want her screwing up the kids. And he's going to share his story of what happened and how things went down this path and so on and so forth. And you're going to see here that while she got her act together for a while, she started hanging out with her old friends again that were users, and next thing you know, she's using as well. And I'm doing this story, guys, as an example, multiple reasons. One is to show you guys how it's so important, as I say this all the time, to pay attention to who your lady hangs out with, because they're going to have an influence on her, for better or for worse. And that also goes just in life, depending on who you hang out with, guys, because your social circle is going to impact you. So it's far better to hang out with people that are good people, successful, driven, moral people. That's going to have an impact on you, as opposed to people that are the exact opposite. And I'm doing this, guys, as a big shout out to all the fathers out there that are doing a great job with their kids, because it's always painted, the picture's painted where the moms are the big heroes, and it's always the dad that's doing these bad things, and the mom's got to clean up the mess. That's a bunch of crap, because there's so many great guys out there that are great fathers, and they got to clean up the mess from the mother of the children. So, guys, I'm going to go through this here, and you can see more what I'm talking about. Starts off, he says, I, a 28-year-old male, have been a single dad to 2 kids, a 6-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, for the last 2 years. My ex-girlfriend, Kate, a 27-year-old female, is the mother of my children, but she has not been present in their lives for the last 2 years. Well, that's huge when you're that little. 2 years is a major deal when you're 6 and 4 years old. She spent the last 2 years in either jail or rehab due to her drug addiction. When Kate and I started dating, I knew she used, but I was young and dumb and in love and didn't use my best judgment. Hey, at least he admits it. He was young, he didn't know any better, she was probably hot, in spite of using things, and he didn't know, but he learned. We all make mistakes when you're younger. All you can do is learn from it, guys. And lesson here, don't get involved with someone that's obviously using hardcore stuff. She got pregnant young, and to her credit, she stopped using completely and was a doting, loving mother. After she got pregnant with our second child, we got engaged and were planning a wedding for a year after the birth. But after the birth of our daughter, everything changed. For the first 6 months or so, things were good, and we were a happy family. But then Kate started going out with old friends, telling me that she felt like she was losing who she was and needed to realize that she was also an independent person and not just a mother. Losing who she was, and obviously that's another way of saying I don't have any freedom. Well, look what happened before when you had all that freedom. And who are you going to hang out with? Well, you're going to see here who she chooses to spend time with and the impact it has on her. I agreed that she needed to socialize and have life outside of her family, but I was wary about the people she was hanging around with and expressed my concern to her. Well, I would say flat out, look, your past is your past, but you're not going to be hanging out with those people again. End of story. And if you do, we're done. End of story, because that's just how things go. Like I said, it's so important to pay attention who your girl hangs out with, guys. It will have so much of an impact on her, and you're going to see right here. Screws everything up, not just for him, but the 2 kids. This is their mom, for God's sakes. She assured me that she had put that part of her life behind her and she just wanted to be around her friends again. Yeah, sure. Let me tell you something, guys. I understand a thing or two about addicts, okay? Someone that's very, very close to me is an addict and has been in and out of rehab many times. And believe me, that craving for it's always there. And you really, it's unfortunate, but you really can never really trust what they're saying, okay? And there's the old joke, how do you know when an addict is lying? Their lips are moving. And it really is true. And they will say or do anything to convince you that they don't have a problem, that they've changed, everything's going to be different, and it never is. The only thing that's the same, the only thing that's different is just, let me rephrase that, The only thing that's the same is that they constantly go back to their addiction and end up back in rehab or worse. So it's no surprise what you're going to see next. He says, well, Kate started using again and got herself put in jail. What'd I tell you? She got out and went to rehab, but relapsed shortly after that and went to jail again, this time for 12 months. Again, proving my point. During that time, I broke off our engagement and petitioned the court for full custody of our kids, and it was granted. Thank the Lord for that. We moved a couple towns away to get a fresh start, and my kids are now thriving in their new schools, and I have a better paying job. That's great. Yeah, now he has to pay for everything, and she's in the freaking slammer, or rehab. I would have moved a lot further than a couple towns away, let me tell you. Maybe he has to stay close for family support or something, but if that wasn't the case, I would get as far. I'd go to a different state, to be honest. Now Kate is out of jail and is living in a halfway house. She's working and getting an apartment and has told me she wants to be a part of the kids' lives again and mentions she wants partial custody. Not a chance in hell. She said she was hoping to avoid too much drama in the courts and asked me to support my support on it. I told her, and I like what he says here, I told her I would fight her tooth and nail to keep full custody until she can prove to me that she isn't going to mess up again. Unfortunately, dude, the odds are great that she's going to mess up again. No matter how much in the moment she feels she's different, how she's going to change, and maybe she is. Okay, there's a possibility, but the odds are strong. The same thing will happen again. Some people, they'll always have that addiction, and it's always there, but some people do get better. But by and large, especially if they're in the same environment they were when they got in trouble to begin with, hanging out with the same people, etc., etc. I told her I will allow her to see her kids under my supervision and on my terms until the court tells me otherwise. She gave me a sob story about how much she's changed, and she would never jeopardize her relationship with her kids again. Yeah, sure. Again, I've heard stories like this too, in one form or another. Believe me, guys. But I told her all that talk doesn't mean a thing to me because I have zero trust in her. Very smart. Because they will talk, and they're good talkers. They're like used car salesmen, and the way they try to convince people, I'm different, I've changed, won't happen again. Really? Because you said that the previous 3 times. Yeah, she is their mom, and, okay, it's one thing if she sees them and he's there. But even then, I would question that. And these kids are probably like, who the hell's this? They haven't seen her in 2 years. And even then, that could mess them up. So he'd really have to, I'd question the wisdom in that. The things she could say to them, the bullshit, the manipulation, it happens. She called me an a-hole for depriving her of a relationship with her kids, and I told her she did that to herself. Damn freaking right she did it to herself. Unbelievable. Depriving her of the relationship. Her actions deprived her of the kids. She chose to go hang out with those people again because she was missing out and not having an independent life outside the family. She made that choice. Make your bed, you lie in it. Accountability. We all know the joke about accountability here. She said, I can't permanently blame her for the mistakes she's made in the past, and I told her she has a long road to gain back enough of my trust for me even to consider supporting partial custody, and that until the court tells me otherwise, I am fighting for full custody. Never give her partial custody, ever. Ever, ever, ever. She can get her life together and stop doing the drugs, get an apartment, get a job and all that, and then after all that and she's been clean, then maybe supervised visits. That's as far as I would go. Partial custody, no way. She'd screw those kids up because the odds are it's going to happen again. And imagine like it would happen when they were under her watch, right? And they're little kids. I'm getting a lot of grief from her family and even my family about it. They all think I should give her a second chance and she's their mother. And so that somehow erases the fact that she's been gone for 2 years. I don't give a crap about her family and I don't give a crap about your family. You're the father. You're in charge. You call the shots with your kids. End of story. Do not give in to the pressure from family, your family, her family. Because guess what? They don't have to deal with the same thing that you dealt with. Okay? Screw them. Okay? And yeah, okay, give her a chance to prove herself. I would say to her literally, okay, here's the deal. You get yourself out of the halfway house situation, however the hell that works. Get yourself an apartment, get a job. Let's see for a few years you're doing well for yourself and you haven't gone back to the slammer or rehab, and then maybe, just maybe, we can discuss some supervised visits. And even then, but if I even sense anything's going on or you're using again, that's it. But partial custody, not a chance in hell. So I got a few comments here from some lawyers that are chiming in on this, and you'll see what they have to say. One guy says, I practiced family law for nearly a decade, and the original poster is not an a-hole. Not even a little bit. She continues to make choices that show she cannot be a stable presence in the children's lives. It would be far more damaging for her to pop back in and then relapse again and disappear. Right. Supervised visits are appropriate, in my opinion, until she's maintained sobriety for a solid period of time. Listen to the lawyer. Family law. Family law ain't a pretty thing. Let me tell you, from what I've heard, I know a lot of lawyers, guys, and I know family law people, and believe me, it ain't pretty. Another guy says, not the a-hole. Absolutely do not relent. She's an addict and would need to see years of being clean before I'd even consider partial custody. I wouldn't give her that either. I would say years of being clean before I even let her be around the kids. She should recognize that this isn't about her. It's about well-being of the kids. Maybe that will finally motivate her to get clean. I hope it does. I really do. But the odds are, another guy says, if she was really healthy, she'd do everything to work within proper boundaries to prove she was not a danger to her children. She should be all thank you for this hour at McDonald's with all of you once a month, and not this give me my kids now BS. Hang tough, you're doing the right thing. Yeah, this guy's a great guy and great dad. He's had to do this all himself. Okay, now yeah, okay, fine. When he was younger, he was involved with her and dating and hooking up, and he was in love with her, and she was using. But, and that was dumb, but you know what, he was young. We all make mistakes when we're young, believe me. I did plenty of dumbass things when I was younger, and I learned my lesson. But kids come first, okay? And if there's any chance she can mess them up, no way. He said the kids are thriving in a new school, doing well. He's doing well, better paying job and all that. Okay, cool. Forget what the family says, her family, your family. They're your family. They're your kids. You call the shots. End of freaking story. But anyhow, guys, this, like I said here, perfect example. Great dads out there. It's always the picture's always painted. It's always the moms that are the big heroes here, and picking up the mess, cleaning up the mess of the deadbeat dads. Well, guess what? There are a lot of deadbeat, screw up moms out there too, and the fathers take the reins and do a great job. And it's always good to point these things out. And of course, the other lesson in the story is about who you hang out with. Okay. Who you hang out with, and also who your better half hangs out with. And if she's hanging out with people that are just trouble, they're losers, they're angry, they're jealous, whatever the hell it is, that can come back to bite her in the ass and you in the ass. Keep that in mind, guys. So, anyway, guys, that is it for today. Quick video, but I thought it'd be a good one to cover. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, again, you ever come across something really good, a good story, good article, your own personal stories, by all means, email it to me. And if it definitely works, I'll certainly cover it in the future video. Could take a month, could take 2 months, because I get flooded with stories and articles, but I'll get to it eventually if it works. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.